When talking about prescription drug cases, one size does not fit all. Like any drug case, there are the users, the local dealer, and the trafficker.
And these type of investigations, for us to get the most effective way to address the community needs are to not only address the individual distributor on the street level who's selling 1, 3, and 5 pills at a time. You step up to the people who organize them, the people who supply them. From there you go to the organizers who basically sponsor these people, go to different places, and then to the doctors who unlawfully prescribe those, the pharmacists who unlawfully fill those, and if it's a factor involved, the clinic owners who own those places. Very much a multi-tiered approach.
The biggest issue with prescription drug cases that make them different from other types of drug cases is the fact that pharmaceuticals are legal to possess with a valid prescription. When an officer makes a traffic stop and sees a substance such as cocaine or heroin inside a car, that is a pretty cut and dry situation, since cocaine and heroin are illegal to possess. That is not the case with pills. You're going to need to know in that scenario if the person has a valid prescription for those pills. And even then, it can get complicated.
On the lower level, you'll see people are both users and dealers. A straight user is hardly there anymore because you have to be able to fund your addiction. Primarily it's in cash. If you're buying 3 and 5 pills, I mean, that's still a couple $100 in cash. And the way they'll do that is they'll buy, say 4, sell 2, and they can roll up from there.
Just as in the case of street drugs, the users are often lower level dealers. However, targeting them can often lead to the traffickers. And in the case of prescription drugs, that can be the doctors or clinic owners, but that also gets very tricky.
Doctors have a license to prescribe controlled substances, and they're regulated by their own Board of Medical Licensure and the Drug Enforcement Administration. We have to prove that they distributed unlawfully. For instance, a cocaine case, there's no license to distribute cocaine. That's pretty easy. I mean, and methamphetamine and cocaine, marijuana and other cases like that. With a doctor, you have to be able to overcome that presumption that what they're doing is legally right.
The types of pill cases have changed with the times. Back when prescription drugs really started to be a problem, pill mills were everywhere. People would come from long distances to line up to see a doctor who would do little or no physical or medical examination. And the patient would then leave with a handful of paper prescriptions for all types of pills.
As far as the pill mills themselves, because there's been so much scrutiny and everyone's looking at these clinics, they've now, I would say that they've been reduced dramatically, but there's a lot of them that have gone into hiding. So they're under different names, they call themselves different things, and they're still out there.
New laws and prescription drug monitoring programs are making it more difficult for clinics to exist as they did in the past, where they were just pill mills. Today, they have much more of an air of legitimacy, and that is something that investigators and prosecutors must take into account. Also, like any trafficking or dealing case, there is a question of who will prosecute the cases. Sometimes there is overlap, but usually user cases will go to the state for prosecution, while trafficking and doctor type cases will often go to a statewide or federal prosecutor.